Hi, welcome to Top Farmers Know How. I'm Jo. BVD is a widespread and costly disease in New Zealand. It's been estimated to drain $45 million out of just the dairy industry every year. The good news is you can eliminate BVD from inside your farm by monitoring for it and culling persistently infected or PI cattle. Watch our Test for and Control BVD video for tips on how to do that. Once you've eliminated BVD, keeping it out requires good biosecurity and possibly BVD vaccination. Biosecurity is a hot topic in the dairy industry, and for good reason. Putting plans in place to reduce infectious disease just makes sense. In this video, we'll talk through some biosecurity strategies to help you control BVD, but the principles of farm biosecurity apply to other infectious diseases as well. Remember that PIs are the source of BVD, because they constantly shed high levels of the virus. So for this disease, biosecurity is all about preventing PIs from having contact with your animals. BVD is most often spread by direct contact, through PIs and naive animals coming close enough to touch. But it can also be spread by indirect contact, because the virus can survive in PI saliva, mucus, milk and faeces for several days. How can you prevent direct and indirect PI contact? Well, to make a biosecurity plan for BVD, it's helpful to think in, out and over. In. Prevent BVD from coming into your farm. You can do this by making sure any purchased or leased animals have been BVD virus tested negative before arrival. Keeping your NATE and dairy herd records up to date will help you track this should a problem arise later. Make sure your service bulls are also virus tested negative. Consider double fencing property boundaries to minimise fence hopping. Ask people coming onto your farm to wear clean overalls and to clean and disinfect their boots and equipment before handling your animals. If you allow neighbours to use your yards, spell them for a week before using them yourself. Out. Young stock, carryovers and dry cows sent away to grazing are at risk of being exposed to PIs, especially if they're on the same property as other dairy or beef cattle. If heifers or cows are pregnant and become transiently infected with BVD, the fetus inside them could become a PI, which you then bring back onto your farm unknowingly. These pregnant animals carrying PI calves are called Trojans, since, like the Trojan horse, the danger is hidden inside. To reduce the biosecurity threat from animals going out, you can ask your grazier to run your cattle completely separately from other groups of stock, with a double fence or paddock between them, and ask them to spell yards for several days and clean and disinfect shared equipment between mobs. Over. Over-the-fence contact with PI cattle is the last way that BVD can enter your herd. You can reduce this risk by double fencing property boundaries and by keeping animals away from roadside paddocks when neighbours are likely to be walking their cattle along the road. Ongoing BVD monitoring by testing milk and calves is the best way to gauge how well your biosecurity plan is working. Despite your best efforts, you probably can't eliminate all the risks associated with in, out and over. So the final cornerstone of BVD biosecurity is vaccination. Vaccination provides protection to your animals when you can't completely eliminate the possibility of PI contact. Bvd vaccine reduces the severity of transient infections and, most importantly, prevents PIs from forming inside pregnant animals for 6 months following the initial vaccination series and 12 months following a third dose. Bvd is the only BVD vaccine with this 12-month fetal protection claim, breaking the cycle of PI formation for an entire year. So, if your farm biosecurity isn't perfect, it's best practice to vaccinate any animals which will be pregnant while away grazing and any young stock or adult cattle at risk of PI contact. No matter how well you implement your biosecurity plan, every farm should make sure all service bulls are tested free of BVD and vaccinated a month prior to mating each year, since the consequences of bulls becoming sick with BVD during mating are severe. Ask your vet for more information about how BvD fits into your biosecurity plan. Check out our other Top Farmers videos to learn more about how you can take control of BVD.